Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my channel. My name's Marissa, and today I am doing the second half of my May wrap-up. So the month of May was really not a good reading month for me. I don't know why. I had literally all the time in the world to do reading because I no longer have a job, and there's hardly any jobs out there to apply for. You know, and I'm home all day long. And yeah, I'm gonna blame this one on Animal Crossing because thanks guys. Thanks for all the hype with Animal Crossing and Nintendo Switch because I went out and freaking bought one. So yeah, I'm gonna blame it on that. We'll go with that theory. Okay, seeing as how I've only had the thing for like a week. Yeah. Anyway, here are the other set of books that I read in the month of May. The first one was Three Dark Crowns by Kendare Blake. There's been so much hype around this book, but I really didn't like it all that much. I was bored through most of it. It was just kind of boring and predictable and like, I don't know, I just didn't even want to read it. I ended up reading this on Kindle, and I am not going to continue on with the series because I just didn't think it was that good. I wasn't invested in the characters. To be honest, I kind of hated them all, and normally I'm the kind of person that I love morally gray characters. Love them, love them. I love the bad characters, but these ones, I just didn't. I thought the whole premise was kind of stupid. And, you know, it's like a religious, it all like revolves around a religious thing. And I just don't, you guys know, I just really don't care for books that revolve around religion and that are totally based on that. So yeah, I just didn't like this book, and I definitely will not continue on with the series. So the next book that I picked up is in this chunker right here, and that was Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen. And this book was essentially about these two sisters and their mother who they lose their husband and father, and they lose their house, and the half brother just doesn't really want to take care of him because his wife is a complete bitch. So they end up having to move in to this cottage with this other guy. You know, honestly, I kind of enjoyed the story a little bit, but like I said, the writing style is so very antiquated and it's very difficult to get through. And like I said before when I did the book haul, the pages are like Bible thin pages. There's a lot of words on them, and with the antiquated language, it took me a long time to get through. So you know, I kind of enjoyed the story, but it's mostly just about love, and like this one girl ends up like accepting this guy who, you know, she really doesn't have strong feelings for because the one she did turned out to be a total douchebag. Yeah, so I don't know, I kind of have mixed feelings. I'm going to continue on because I really want to read all of Jane Austen's novels and see if I like any of the other ones better, but this one definitely was not my favorite story ever. The next book that I read was The Arrangement by Robyn Harding, and this one is a story about a girl who is in college and she's really struggling because she's pretty poor, and so she meets this other girl in class who is like this, you know, has this like penthouse suite, and she lives by herself, and she has all this money and like designer clothes and designer bags, and you know, this girl is struggling. And so her friend basically introduces her to the sugar daddy, sugar baby lifestyle. So this girl's like, okay, I'm only going to do it a couple times, and I'm going to get enough money to survive for a couple months until I can get another job, and then I'm going to be done. Well, she ends up meeting this guy who she thinks is different. She ends up falling for him. You know, to her it becomes more than a sugar daddy, sugar baby relationship, and to him it kind of does too. But this dude is not a good dude really, because he has people beaten up, he has people knocked off, like he is not a good guy. And so he basically, she ends up in jail, and yeah, it's not good. Not good at all. So I devoured this book. It's kind of like one of those guilty pleasure reads. It's like soft and fluffy. Not really. I mean, soft and fluffy, but dark and kind of terrifying to think about actually going through something like that. So yeah, I think I ended up reading this book in like 2 days. It's fairly short, and you know, there aren't a lot of words on the page. So yeah, this was definitely a really good book to kind of like have a palate cleanser, to just pick up and read it. So the next one is A Wolf by Wolf by Ryan Graudin, and I am going to film a full out review for this video. So the only thing I'm going to tell you is this is a historical fiction / fantasy about like an alternative history. It is one in which Hitler survived World War II and Germany actually won the war. So Germany, or Germania as it's called in the book, essentially takes over the world, and this girl is competing in a motorcycle race to meet Hitler and kill him. And I love this book, which is also why I am doing a full out book review on it. So that will be up probably in a couple of weeks, so please go watch that. So the next book that I read is The Last Tutor by Phillipa Gregory, and this is the story of the three Grey sisters. There is Jane, who is super religious, and she ends up being crowned queen for 9 days because she is a descendant of Henry VII. She was Henry VIII's sister's granddaughter. Yeah, Henry VIII's sister's granddaughter, I believe. Anyway, so it follows her, and you know, she was beheaded after her very short 9-day reign. And then there is her younger sister, Catherine, who ends up marrying for love, and that doesn't go so well because she marries in secret. And then there's her last sister, Mary, who is described as kind of like a dwarf with a twisted back. So I think she was born with like scoliosis or something. And, you know, she also ends up marrying for love in secret, and it doesn't end well for any of the sisters. I'm just gonna say that. This book was really... It wasn't really difficult to get through. It was difficult to get through Jane's parts because she was super religious. I mean, just like every little sentence had to be related back to her religion and how devout she was. And it got really, really annoying really fast. Me and Berna over at Berna's Bookish Adventures actually buddy read this in the month of May, and both of us really felt the same way about it. We really enjoyed Mary's part the best, and she is the youngest sister, and she was kind of the one that learned from her two older sisters' mistakes, kind of, because obviously she's still married in secret and married for love and then got caught, but she's the only one who survived. But she was really a lot smarter than the other two at kind of the political workings of the court. She really understood Queen Elizabeth and, you know, her motivations and her feelings behind everything. She wasn't naive to that at all. So, I really enjoyed the book from that perspective. I hated Elizabeth in this. She was like a backstabbing, jealous, you know, like mean girl, really, and with all this power. So she really treated her family, her cousins, like crap. So I really hated her in this, and there's a lot of other books that I've read with Elizabeth in it that I'm a lot more sympathetic to her because of how her character was written and the situations that she was in, but this one, absolutely couldn't stand her. Do I think this is the best historical fiction book ever? No, definitely not. I don't regret reading it just to kind of learn more about the Grey sisters, because other than the fact that Jane was queen for 9 days, I really didn't have a clue who they were and what they were about. So I did find that interesting. I definitely won't be rereading this at all. But yeah, it was really nice to read with Berna, and I am looking forward to reading another book with her next month. So the next one that I finished was A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. Who is this by? Oh, Holly Jackson. This one... Oh my god, I love this book. Love, 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 love this book. I read this in 2 days. It is page turning, twisting. You do not know what's going to happen until the end. It is like mind-blowingly good. And even when you think you have it figured out, you don't have it figured out. Just FYI. That's not the whole story. It is like, it's basically this girl who is in high school, and she's doing a capstone project, which I also thought was kind of weird because the only time I ever did a capstone project was in high school. It was for my bachelor's degree and my master's degree. Those were the only 2 capstone projects I ever did. I never had to do one for high school, so I'm not sure why they do, but whatever. It fits in nicely with the story. So it's kind of told in a mixed media format. There are pages, like excerpts from her capstone project, like her capstone notes log, and like her murder board, and you know, basically the whole premise is this girl's doing that capstone project on a murder that had happened in her town 5 years ago, and she wants to figure out what really happened, because she does not believe that the guy they say murdered this girl actually did it. So her teachers very distinctly tell her not to contact the families of the victim and the murderer. And what does she do? The first thing she does is contact the murderer's brother. So yeah, her and this guy end up going on basically this journey to figure out who really killed this girl and to clear his brother's name. And it is so, so good. I absolutely devoured it. There is another book that is already out that I have ordered because I really, really, really want to continue on with this series. So far, it looks like there's going to be 4 books total in this series. So I'll see where I'm at after the second book and see if I want to continue on, because I really like the format of this. I love the characters. The humor is just great. It has no fantasy elements. I'm totally okay with that for like the first time ever. But yeah, it is a really good book, so definitely pick this one up. Last one that I read in the month of May was A Heart So Fierce and Broken by Brigid Kemmerer. I didn't like it. I don't care. I don't care about the characters. I don't care about their drama. I don't care what's going on. There are so many disparities for me between the first book and the second book. First of all, the main prince in there is a total asshole. From the first book to the second book. Like, he just somehow magically becomes this total asshole and just wants to kill people and hurt people. And I'm like, how does this even make sense? This makes no sense whatsoever. People are alive that should not be alive, and it is never explained. One of the queens in there magically has children that were never talked about in the first book. I didn't feel any consistency between the first and the second book. I really didn't enjoy the first book all that much. I just didn't care. I didn't connect with the characters, and maybe it's just because I'm outgrowing the YA genre, and yeah, I don't know. I just did not care for it whatsoever. Really, the only reason I ended up even getting through it was because I had bought it with credits on Audible, canceled my subscription, so I can't like trade in audiobooks I don't like if I don't have an active subscription, and I wasn't willing to pay for another month just to return this. So I got through it. I definitely will not be reading the next book. I don't think it's worth it for me, to be perfectly honest. So for the month of May, my total books read was 13, which it's not bad, but for me, I'm more like 16 to 19, somewhere in there, but I really haven't been listening to audiobooks all that much, just because I'm not driving anywhere, I'm not going anywhere, so yeah, that's part of the reason. And then my total page count was 5,573, which is actually only a little bit lower than most of my other months. And I think that's just because I have read some longer books in there, so that's really not too terribly bad. So anyway, that is it for my May wrap up, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for watching my video. I upload every Wednesday and Saturday, and I would really love it if you would like, comment, and subscribe my videos. Have a great day.